Can Angels Fly? I'm Nancy, and today I'm here to make a very short video, and it has to do with your health as well as your wealth. When I was in the church, I read a scripture in the Bible that talked about the contents of heaven, what it was built on, its foundation, and the gates being these 12 huge pearls, and how the streets were made of gold, crystal clear, and it named all these precious stones and minerals from jasper to sapphires to emeralds and onyx, and it went on and on. Around the same period of time, I watched the Pope give his prayer. And he was adorned with this beautiful breastplate with all the precious stones embedded in it, as well as his headgear. And my mind started to wonder. I was like, wow, why would they put all of these stones on the Pope? And then shortly after that, I ended up seeing the Queen, and the Queen was adorned as well. And, she always has her string of pearls around her neck. And I just began to wonder. I was like, wow. So why don't I have any of that? Why don't I have any of that? And over time, I just couldn't release it. Truthfully, I couldn't release it. So I began to research all of the precious stones that were mentioned in the Bible. And just from the ones that were mentioned in the Bible, primarily the very first one I researched was the pearl. Since the gates of heaven are supposed to be these huge pearls. And I realized, I said, shoot, these pearls being the doorway or the archways into the city of heaven, the New Jerusalem, when a person enters them, they immediately heal and made whole. I found out through my research that the pearl is an antibiotic. Isn't that interesting? I found out that gold is a natural conductor that can be used to heal the nervous system, the neurological system. I learned that the mineral, I think it's a mineral, lithium, is used in psychiatric medicine. I learned that silver can cause the tissue to contract and can help with hemorrhoids. I learned that the amethyst is something that strengthens the blood and steadies the nervous system. And I went on and on and on studying these precious gems and the metals and minerals. Each and every one either had a healing property or had some way to help mankind technologically advance and live more effectively and efficiently in this world. My question is, why don't I have any? My question then was, why don't I have any? After that, I began to look at the prices associated with these stones and these minerals and these metals. It was astronomical. And I finally came to understand why these precious gemstones and metals and minerals have such a high value. It is because they are natural healers. And they are also, once again, substances that offer us what we need to technologically advance, making it easier for us in this world. Over time, I came to realize that many of the jobs that people have are to excavate or drill those natural resources, hand them over to an elitist class that runs our pharmaceutical companies, our drilling sites, or all those sites to excavate. But the purpose of all the drilling and excavating and submerging into the waters, all these things are merely to excavate or harvest the natural resources in this earth. The little mediocre jobs that exist are subservient jobs, merely to keep life going, to keep everybody going. I don't want to go into much detail about it. I have a video out here, and I think it's called Your Ass is Grass Due to the World's Greatest Pyramid Scheme. You can locate that. I go all down through there on that. But what it really boils down to is that we common folks are holding up the elitists and their groups and crews to excavate the natural resources on earth in order to support themselves and to build a legacy for them and their children. These natural resources are what we're put here for us to be able to heal. This body is built to last for an appointed time, and there is a support system here on this earth. It's just that we overlook it. Many of us possess small quantities of some of these common metals and minerals and stones. A few little pieces, some necklaces, watch, bracelet. But all of these things that we possess are little chips and pieces. The gold is blended with other alloys. It's not pure. Imagine what we could do with the actual raw natural resource. Imagine what we could do with a sliver, a bed of sapphire warmed, or emeralds and rubies. I do invite you to do your own research so that you can come to understand how we, your people in humanity, are being bamboozled by the elitists. And how, due to us blindly being manipulated and we're blind to the manipulation, we have lost out on our wealth and we are suffering and losing our health. It was one other thing I wanted to talk about. And this is a little bit off the subject. Just wanted to make a short, brief video about it. Giving you a subject you can research. Very fascinating. And you'll notice, I'll say this, you'll notice if you decide to research this very subject, that there are more gems and metals and minerals than you could even imagine on this earth. And they all have a purpose. And they all can help sustain us one way or another. I would have not ever thought there were so many gems and stones. We think of gold and silver and a couple of pearls and some diamonds and a few rubies and some sapphires. But they got things out here. They got some gems out here. Never even knew they existed. And so we need to wake up and see what we really have around us. Shoes, cars, houses, all those things are nice. They're really, really nice. But we want healing. We want the foundation of life, the foundation of the maintenance or sustaining of life. And those things are not it. Working 40, 50, 60 hours to make somebody else rich is not it. So again, I invite you to go research the metaphysical. They can call it metaphysical. These are the properties of our natural resources and what they're capable of doing if they were could possibly be obtained. They're well out of many of our financial reach. But again, you need to watch that other video if you want to understand the structure that is around us, keeping us away from such things that could possibly heal us, that will heal us. We know they heal us. And that's why I was about to go when I kind of will jump off the subject. They will heal us. The medicines that we take heal. The doctors save lives. They write prescriptions. All of these things come from these metals and minerals and gems. And I just wanted to share a little bit tidbit of story. When I was sick a couple of years ago, I was given a prescription, and it was, I think, oxycodone or something. And I remember taking this very, 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 very low dosage of this particular drug. And for, I think it was like 20 minutes or so, I forgot, I had timed it down to the second. It was so good. I could not feel any of the pain in my body. None. It made me understand why people that are addicted to drugs, when they don't have the drug, they're in so much pain, especially heroin addicts, because the pain receptors are like shut down or blocked. And so when a person is without the drug, they begin to feel their body, and the body hurt. It hurts. Even when you don't have no aches and pains, you don't realize your body is like ringing. It's being affected by the environment every day, all day long, but you grow numb to it because it's every day, all day long. But if you've ever had to take a pain reliever, especially a narcotic, for a extended amount of time, and then come off of it, you can feel every pain in your body. It's interesting. I took that oxycodone, I think it was, small dosage. And for about 20 minutes, I could think crystal clear. Absolutely crystal clear. I can't even think that clear now. Because I couldn't feel any pain in my body. And you know that the pain receptors in the body are connected to the brain. So it stops that transmission, which goes to show that the consciousness is connected or seated in the brain. And therefore, our consciousness, is what I'm trying to say, is not our body. I don't know how to explain it any other way. Now, I'm not promoting drug usage, because to come off of narcotics ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. But I just point that experience I had out because it showed me just how effective these natural resources are. Now, there's one other thing I like to cover quickly, and it's about ownership. Ownership of the natural resources. Why is it that a particular group gets to harvest, hoard, possess? Possession is what they say, 99% of the law of ownership, and sell it to the rest of us. Now, I'll say this, that a chemist or an alchemist, a person who knows how to transmute these natural resources into substances that we can use or use for medical purposes or technological advances, deserve support. But should they be able to hold people's lives in their hands if they don't have life insurance? How can I make this make sense? If you don't have life insurance or health insurance or whatever, you can't get this medicine. But this medicine comes from the natural resources that are a part of this earth. They don't own them. We excavate them, give it to them, and they sell us a small portion. I find that interesting. I just wonder. I often wonder. Now, I had to ingest that particular medication I bought up. But are there other ways to administer that particular drug, another way to transmute it in order not to cause addiction, or even maybe not even have to ingest it? Guess first I'll have to break that particular drug down and find out what's in there. And the reason why I say that or ask that is because if it can stop the pain receptors throughout the whole entire body and permit me to think clear, 100% clear, there's something to it. And the price, astronomical. If I didn't have insurance, if a person doesn't have insurance, they don't get that. How fair is that? Anyway, thank you for coming to Can Angels Fly. I was just offering you a subject to research, and that subject is of the benefits of our resources, namely our gems and metals, and minerals. Until next time, bye.